The lone human was ridiculed, until he rose as the supreme predator. The transport ship drifted through open space, slow and heavy, carrying recruits from many worlds. Inside one narrow seat sat a lone human named Alex Carter. He was smaller than most of the others, lighter, and wrapped in a simple combat suit that looked thin compared to the thick armor around him. Several aliens stared at him openly. Some whispered, some laughed without shame. Alex kept his eyes forward. He had learned long ago that reacting only gave others what they wanted. The Galactic Defense Academy accepted many species, but humans were new. Earth had joined the wider galaxy only a few cycles ago, and most races believed humans were weak. Their bones were fragile. Their skin tore easily. They lacked claws, fangs, or natural armor. Many instructors believed humans only survived on their home world because no real predators remained. Alex had heard all of it before. When the ship docked, recruits were ordered into formation. Towering figures moved into lines with ease. Heavy footsteps shook the floor. Alex stepped into place at the end of one row, barely reaching the chest height of the soldier beside him. An instructor walked slowly along the lines. He was tall, scaled, and carried a data pad in one claw. His eyes stopped on Alex. "A human," he said flatly. "Interesting choice," some recruits snickered. Alex stood still. The instructor leaned closer. "Can you even carry a standard rifle?" Human Alex answered calmly. "Yes, sir." The instructor made a low sound that might have been laughter. "We will see." Training began immediately. The academy believed in pressure. Recruits were pushed beyond comfort to see who broke. Running drills came first. Long corridors, low gravity shifts, uneven floors. Many alien species were fast but tired quickly. Alex ran with short steps, steady breathing, never trying to match their speed. He simply kept going. During strength tests he failed badly. He could not lift what others could. During sparring he was thrown to the floor more than once. Bruises formed along his arms and ribs. The pain was sharp, but he accepted it. Others did not. One large recruit named Dorn mocked him openly. "You should have stayed on your soft little world," he said after throwing Alex down again. Alex rose slowly. "Maybe," he replied. Dorn laughed. "Prey should know its place." Alex did not answer. That night, while others rested, Alex reviewed training footage on a shared terminal. He watched how each species moved, how their joints bent, how they attacked, where they hesitated. He made notes in his mind. Humans had always survived by learning. This place was no different. Weeks passed. Alex's unit was formed from mixed species. They did not want him. Their leader, a sharp-eyed woman named Lisa Brown, was human as well, but even she looked unsure when she saw him. "You have any combat experience?" she asked. Alex shook his head. "No real combat. Only simulations." Lisa sighed. "Stay close and do what you are told." Alex nodded. Field exercises followed. Mock battles across artificial terrain, energy weapons, sensor traps. Many recruits relied on strength and speed. Alex relied on timing. He noticed patterns. Instructors rotated hazards in cycles. Enemies followed set routes. During one exercise, Alex warned the unit of an ambush before it happened. "How did you know?" Lisa asked afterward. Alex pointed to disturbed ground and heat traces. Small signs. They were careless. She studied him more closely after that. Still, most did not trust him. They saw his losses, not his thinking. Then came the assignment that changed everything. The Academy received an emergency call from a frontier research station near a wild system. Communications were failing. Sensor data showed unknown life forms. Not enemy forces, but something worse. Predators. This was not a drill. Units were rushed onto dropships. Alex's unit was chosen because they were closest. The planet was dark green and brown, covered in thick forests and deep fog. Gravity was heavy, air thick, visibility low. As soon as they landed, the sounds began. Low growls, snapping branches. Something moved fast between trees. "Stay alert," Lisa ordered. Alex felt something tighten in his chest. not fear, focus. The first attack came without warning. A massive shape burst from the fog, slamming into the line. One alien soldier screamed as claws tore through armor. Weapons fired wildly. Energy bolts scorched trees but missed their target. Alex dropped to one knee, scanning. The creature was fast but not random. It circled. Tested, another soldier fell, panic spread. Alex shouted, "It hunts the wounded, move together, keep noise low." Some ignored him. One did not. Lisa heard him. "Form up," she yelled. They pulled back tighter. The creature struck again, but this time met coordinated fire. It screeched and retreated. Silence followed. Dorn laughed nervously. "See, we scared it off." Alex shook his head. "No, it is learning us." Lisa looked at him sharply. What? Alex crouched, touching the ground. "It will come back when we are tired." As if summoned, a second creature appeared. Then a third. These were apex predators of this world, thick muscle, layered bone plates, eyes that reflected light. Weapons barely slowed them. Alex's rifle overheated. He dropped it and ran. "Where are you going?" Dorn shouted. Alex did not answer. He disappeared into the trees. Lisa cursed. Human down. Minutes passed. Fighting grew worse. One soldier was pinned. Another bled heavily. Then the ground exploded beneath a creature. It fell into a pit of sharpened stakes made from local wood and broken gear. Another creature charged and was blinded by a burst of steam from a ruptured coolant pack rigged to detonate. Alex emerged, breathing hard. He moved with speed now, not strength. He led the creatures into narrow paths, forced them to turn, slowed them. One by one they fell. When the last predator collapsed, the forest went quiet. The unit stared at Alex. He was covered in dirt and blood, not all his. His hands shook slightly from pain and effort. "How?" Lisa asked slowly. "Did you do that so fast?" Alex sat down heavily. "I did not fight them," he said. "I hunted them." Dorn said nothing. "They reached the station at dawn, survivors only." The report spread quickly through the academy. Instructors replayed footage again and again. The human did not overpower the predators. He outthought them. He adapted faster. Alex was summoned days later. The same instructor who mocked him before looked at him with new eyes. "You are not strong," the instructor said. Alex agreed. "No, sir, but you survived." The instructor continued. Alex met his gaze. "Yes, sir." The instructor nodded once. Dismissed. As Alex left the chamber, whispers followed him again. But they were different now. Not laughter, curiosity, fear. Alex walked on, knowing this was only the beginning. Alex Carter woke to the faint hum of the ship's engines. The frontier world below was fading in the distance, leaving only the black of space dotted with stars. He had been hailed a hero by the alien instructors, but to him, nothing had changed. He still felt small, still felt untested. The predators had been dangerous, yes, but they were only the beginning. Training resumed immediately. Recruits moved through obstacle courses and simulations, but Alex noticed a difference in the way others treated him. Some avoided mocking him. Some stared wide-eyed as if seeing humans for the first time. He ignored them. Pride was dangerous. Observation was power. Weeks later, a new assignment came. Scouts had located a research colony on a remote planet under attack. Reports were confusing. Alien signals were scrambled. Energy readings indicated a life form far beyond normal military expectations. The Galactic Council called it a threat to all species in the sector. Alex's unit was assigned to investigate and assist. The ship approached the planet cautiously. Thick clouds covered the surface. Sensors indicated movement, but it was irregular, chaotic. It was difficult to track. The crew felt tension. Even veterans looked uneasy. Upon landing, the team disembarked into a ruined settlement. Buildings were crumbled, smoke rising from several points. The air carried a sharp metallic smell. Tracks covered the ground, large clawed prints. Not human, not alien, something unknown. Lisa Brown, the unit leader, studied the tracks. "It is unlike anything we have seen," she said quietly. "Stay alert," Dorn muttered under his breath. Probably just big wildlife. Alex knelt to examine the prints. They were fresh, very fresh. The creatures were massive, incredibly strong, but their movement suggested intelligence. They avoided traps, they studied their prey. The first attack came as dusk fell. A shadow lunged from a broken wall, knocking a soldier aside. Energy weapons fired, but the creature dodged effortlessly. It had speed beyond expectation and reflexes sharper than anything Alex had seen. The unit scattered, chaos spread, screams echoed through the ruined streets. Alex moved differently. He crouched, keeping low. He scanned, noting the creature's pattern. It did not attack blindly. It tested, probed, waited for mistakes. He guided injured soldiers to cover silently, signaling with hand movements. Dorn ran past him, shouting. Alex grabbed his arm. "Stay quiet. Follow me." They moved through side alleys and collapsed corridors. Alex led them to a narrow passage where the creature could not fully follow. From above, he dropped rubble and debris, slowing it. Other soldiers watched in awe as the human orchestrated the fight. He was not fighting with brute force. He was manipulating the battlefield. Every movement, every choice was calculated. The creature shrieked and backed away. Alex seized the moment. He had noticed the predator's pattern of circling before striking. He led it into a trap, a small courtyard littered with metal debris. When it charged, it tripped over a hidden cable and fell, stunned. The humans fired in unison. The creature retreated, wounded but alive. Lisa approached him afterward. "I don't understand how you do it," she said. "You don't have strength like the others." Alex shook his head. "I don't fight them the way they expect. I force them to fight me the way I want." Dorn did not speak. He only watched, realizing the human they mocked had saved them all again. Over the next days, Alex led small scouting groups. He observed every creature carefully, studying patterns, weaknesses, and intelligence. Some predators attacked in packs, communicating with sounds humans could barely hear. Alex learned to mimic these sounds, redirecting their attention and saving his team repeatedly. The alien soldiers began to respect him silently. They followed his instructions even when it went against their instincts. He taught them to think, not just fight. One night, while the camp slept, Alex stayed awake. He listened to the forest outside, noting shifts in wind, the faint rustle of movement, the subtle glow of eyes. He sketched a map of predator movements, noting entrances, exits, and hunting grounds. A sudden roar shattered the quiet. A massive predator broke into the camp, larger than any Alex had seen before. Its claws shredded tents and equipment. Soldiers panicked. Energy weapons fired, but the beast moved too fast. Alex acted. He did not run. He directed the remaining soldiers to high ground, luring the creature into a narrow canyon. He dropped traps, rocks, and heavy equipment with precise timing. The creature struggled, trapped between the narrow walls and the hazards. It was not dead, but it could not move freely. Alex approached carefully. He observed its breathing, its gaze, its strength. He did not fear it, he understood it. With careful strikes, using the environment, he brought it down. The predators around it scattered. The night went quiet. Lisa and the other leaders finally realized the truth. Humans were not strong in the usual sense. They did not overpower. They outthink, outlast, outmaneuver. Alex had survived not by being stronger, but by being smarter and more patient. Dorn came to him later. "I thought humans were prey," he said quietly. Alex looked at him. "We were prey once. But prey that never stopped learning, never stay prey forever." News of the victories spread quickly through the sector. Other alien units heard reports of a lone human outsmarting the deadliest predators. Some refused to believe it. Others watched humans differently, calculating, cautious. For Alex, it was only the beginning. He knew these creatures were the first test. Worse challenges were coming, threats that would not be satisfied by clever traps alone. Still, he felt ready. He had learned patience, observation, and timing. He had learned how to survive where others failed. The human who was mocked, the human no one expected, had begun to prove that survival was not about strength alone. It was about understanding, strategy, and willpower. As the unit prepared to leave the planet, Alex walked through the ruins one last time. He touched broken walls, studied tracks in the dirt, listened to the quiet forest. He was alone for a moment, but he did not feel fear. He felt focus. He felt the weight of responsibility. He would survive. He would adapt. And one day, he knew, the galaxy would learn that humans were not the prey they assumed. The dropship lifted off, leaving the forest behind. Alex sat in the corner, arms crossed, eyes open. He did not speak. The others whispered about his skill, about the strange human who could think faster than the deadliest predators. Alex said nothing. He only watched, calculated, prepared for the next challenge. And somewhere deep inside, he smiled slightly. The hunters of this galaxy had never faced a human like him before. The stars stretched ahead, dark and infinite. And Alex Carter, small, human, underestimated, was ready to rise. Alex Carter had changed. No longer the recruit mocked for his small size and weak body. He had proven himself against predators that terrified even the strongest aliens. Yet, he knew the frontier world was only the beginning. If survival meant thinking faster than monsters, war meant thinking faster than armies. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Reports came in from the outer sectors, human colonies under attack. Alien forces from a species known as the Zern had begun a sudden invasion. They struck with speed, destroying outposts before anyone could respond. Their goal seemed simple: wipe out humanity before it could grow stronger. Alex's unit was assigned to the defense fleet. They boarded a massive transport, traveling with ships from multiple species. Alien commanders discussed plans with casual cruelty. They did not hide their disdain. "Humans are fragile," said one blue-skinned alien, shrugging. "They will break fast." Alex did not answer. He did not need to. He observed. He always observed. The first battle came at a small colony near the asteroid belt. Sensors detected incoming Zern fighters, faster and more numerous than the defenders. The human ships were smaller, weaker. Alien allies urged retreat. Alex studied the enemy. He noticed patterns. They attacked in waves, predictable arcs, overestimating the speed of the smaller human craft. He shared this with Commander Lisa Brown. "We can hit them here," he said, pointing to a map of trajectories. "Small craft can dodge the first wave and hit their weak points." The battle began. Human ships darted between larger alien ships. Energy weapons screamed. Explosions flared in space. Many aliens panicked. Human pilots followed Alex's strategy, flanking the enemy where they least expected. In the middle of the fight, a massive Zern warship appeared. It fired a beam that tore through one of the Allied cruisers. Panic spread. Alex remained calm. He directed a small team to target the ship's support systems, weak points missed by larger weapons. Explosions disabled engines and shields. The ship fell out of formation, forced to retreat. The alien commanders stared at Alex, disbelief on their faces. "How did a human see that?" one asked. He did not answer. He never did. Action was stronger than words. Over the next cycle, Alex led multiple strike teams on hit-and-run operations. He did not rely on strength. He relied on speed, observation, and traps. The Zern underestimated him. They assumed humans would flee under pressure. They did not. Humans adapted, counterattacked, and forced the Zern to retreat several times. Back on the command ship, Lisa studied him closely. "We underestimated them," she said. "Your people, they are not fragile." Alex shook his head. "They are prey still, but prey that never stop thinking is dangerous." The Zern realized the humans were not as weak as expected. Their initial reports painted humans as soft, untrained, slow. Now they faced humans who learned faster than anyone expected. They began sending spies, testing defenses, trying to predict human strategies. Alex anticipated these moves. He trained squads to detect and trap infiltrators. Patience and observation won again. On one mission, Alex led a small strike team to disable a Zern energy relay. The path was narrow, littered with sensors and traps. Alien soldiers panicked at every step. Alex moved calmly, signaling with hand signs, guiding them silently. They avoided traps and reached the relay. A small detonation disabled it. The Zern fleet lost communication and control temporarily. The aliens on his team stared in disbelief. "How did you see all that, Alex?" One asked. "I watched," he said simply. "They left signs." As weeks passed, humans became known not just as survivors but as hunters. Their attacks were precise, surgical. Alien species who had mocked them now studied them cautiously. In simulations, humans always found a way to adapt. Even when cornered, they never broke. Alex began noticing patterns beyond the immediate battlefield. The Zern treated humans like a minor threat, but their strategy revealed arrogance. They did not respect human intelligence, only brute force. Alex used this. He predicted their next strikes and led small human teams to intercept, ambush, and dismantle their plans. One night, during a long journey between systems, Alex spoke quietly to Lisa. "The Zern think they control the galaxy. They do not. They have strength. We have persistence. We will outlast them." Lisa nodded slowly. "Persistence? Yes, I see it in your people." Alex smiled slightly. "Strength is not always about muscle or weapons," he said. "Sometimes the strongest is the one who refuses to die, who refuses to give up." The next major battle came near the planet Hara. The Zern fleet was larger, more organized. Allied forces feared defeat. Human pilots followed Alex's plan. He led them through asteroid fields, using debris to hide movements and create traps. The Zern ships fell into ambushes repeatedly. Small human teams disabled engines, destroyed weapon systems, and forced the larger ships to retreat. After the battle, alien leaders called a meeting. They could not deny it. Humans were a threat. A single species, small and fragile, had outsmarted fleets much larger than themselves. They had adapted, learned, and survived. Dorn approached Alex afterward. "I thought humans were prey," he said again. Now he trailed off. Alex looked at him. "Prey that never stops learning," he said. "Do not forget that rumors spread. Across space, tales of the human strategist reached other colonies. Some laughed, some feared, some studied. Humans were no longer just a fragile species. They were predators in a new sense. Not because of strength, but because of their will, their ability to adapt, and their patience." For Alex, the work never stopped. Each victory revealed new challenges. The Zern would adapt, but so would humans. He trained squads, taught observation, patience, tactics. He studied enemies endlessly. Each battle became a lesson. Each failure, a step toward mastery. And always, in the quiet moments, Alex remembered the frontier world. The predators that had almost killed them, the forest where humans had learned to survive against impossible odds. It had been the first test. Now the galaxy was a bigger, deadlier place, but Alex knew humans could survive. More than survive, they could dominate if domination meant intelligence, strategy, and persistence. The Zern underestimated them. The galaxy underestimated them. Alex Carter, once mocked, once thought weak, was shaping a new truth. Humans were not the prey they appeared to be. They were hunters, adaptable, relentless, patient. And soon, everyone would learn that lesson. As the fleet moved toward the next system, Alex sat quietly in the control room. Maps, sensor readings, and tactical data surrounded him. Every movement of the enemy, every weakness, every opportunity he noted. Humans survived because they watched, learned, and waited. And Alex was the best at it. The stars stretched endlessly, a canvas of danger and opportunity. Alex smiled. The galaxy had yet to see what humans could do, and when the Zern realized it, it would be too late. Humans were rising, and Alex Carter was at the forefront. This time, the hunters were no longer prey. Alex Carter looked at the display screens, showing the Zern fleet gathering near human space. The messages were clear. Earth itself was the target. The Zerg wanted to end humanity before it could grow stronger. The Council debated options, but most alien leaders assumed defeat was inevitable. Humans were fragile, they said. A small, weak species could not survive an empire. Alex did not listen. He had seen humans survive predators that could crush them. He had seen humans outthink fleets far larger and stronger. He knew what to do. He met with Commander Lisa Brown in the war room. The room buzzed with tension. Officers argued, maps lit up with threat zones and ship movements. Lisa studied him closely. "Alex," she said, "do you really think we can stop them?" "We can," Alex replied calmly. "Not by brute force, by strategy, by patience, by forcing them to make mistakes." Plans were drawn. Humans would not wait to be attacked. They would strike first. Small fleets moved through uncharted systems, setting traps, disabling enemy supply lines, and cutting communication. Aliens laughed at first. The humans were small. Their ships were fragile. How could they possibly fight an empire? Alex ignored the laughter. He studied the enemy's behavior, patterns, and arrogance. The Zerg assumed humans would panic, flee, or surrender. They underestimated the persistence and intelligence of humanity. The first strike hit a remote Zerg supply station. Humans used stealth ships to bypass defenses, sabotaging power systems and communication relays. Explosions rocked the station, and humans escaped before the Zerg knew what had happened. Alien observers could not believe it. A small group of fragile humans had done what their fleets had failed to do. The Zerg responded by sending attack waves toward human colonies. Humans prepared. Alex coordinated the defense. He used lessons learned from the frontier world: observation, patience, and timing. He positioned forces where the Zerg expected weakness, then struck where they were vulnerable. In one engagement, a Zerg dreadnought moved to attack a human mining colony. Human ships hid among asteroids, using the debris as cover. When the dreadnought advanced, humans struck from multiple angles simultaneously, hitting engines and weapon arrays. The dreadnought was forced to retreat. Human pilots cheered quietly, but Alex remained calm. Victory was only the beginning. The Zerg began to notice patterns. Humans were not random. They were learning faster than expected, adapting to every attack. Every trap they encountered became a lesson for the next encounter. The Empire grew frustrated, but arrogance kept them confident. They still believed humans were fragile. Alex led a team on a daring mission to infiltrate a Zerg communication hub. Disguised as supply drones, they moved undetected into the enemy station. Human soldiers used small tools to disable sensors and relay equipment. When the hub went offline, the Zerg lost coordination across multiple sectors. Humans had struck without being seen. Lisa watched Alex during the mission. "I do not understand how you always see what they cannot," she said. Alex smiled slightly. "They leave clues, small mistakes." Humans notice what others ignore. The Zerg Emperor, observing the unexpected failures, grew angry. Humans were more dangerous than expected. He ordered a direct assault on Earth itself, confident that human defenses could be crushed in one massive strike. Alex prepared. He knew they would come, and he had studied every detail of the impending attack. Human fleets hid in strategic locations, and small strike teams positioned themselves to cut off the enemy advance. Earth's orbital defenses were upgraded with clever traps designed by human engineers. When the Zerg fleet arrived, the first wave hit a series of ambushes. Human ships struck weak points, disabled engines, and forced retreats. The Zerg were shocked. How could such small vessels be so effective? Alex directed counterattacks with calm precision. He anticipated the Zerg movements, using knowledge of their tactics against them. Each wave of attack by the Zerg was met with careful, calculated responses. Human forces never panicked. Human ships never stopped moving. They forced the Zerg into traps, slowed them, and dismantled their formations piece by piece. On the ground, humans prepared for landing attempts. Soldiers followed Alex's strategies, creating choke points, using terrain, and setting traps. Even heavily armed Zerg troops fell victim to human ingenuity. One group tried to take a strategic base, only to be funneled into a narrow canyon where human squads disabled their weapons and forced surrender. Alien observers from other species began to realize the truth. Humans were not weak. They were different. Their strength was in endurance, intelligence, and persistence. Every mistake by the Zerg was punished. Every weakness was exploited. Humans did not stop, did not panic, did not surrender. The battle escalated to a decisive moment. The Zerg Emperor sent his flagship into orbit over Earth. The ship was massive, armed with devastating energy weapons. He expected humanity to fall easily. Alex led a human strike team in small, agile ships. They dodged massive energy blasts, using speed and terrain to avoid detection. They attacked engines, power cores, and weapon systems with precision. The flagship could not maneuver. It drifted under human assault. Finally, Alex guided the team in a coordinated strike on the ship's command deck. Human soldiers breached the deck, neutralizing officers and disabling critical systems. The flagship was crippled. The Zerg fleet lost coordination, and retreat became inevitable. Across the galaxy, live transmissions showed humans dismantling an empire. Viewers watched, shocked. The species that was once mocked, ridiculed as fragile prey, had outsmarted and outmaneuvered one of the largest empires in the galaxy. Humans were no longer prey. They were hunters. After the victory, Alex returned to Earth. The planet was battered but intact. Humans celebrated quietly. Alien species treated them with new respect. The Galactic Council formally recognized humans as a formidable force. The lesson was clear. Strength alone did not define power. Intelligence, adaptability, and persistence could overcome any obstacle. Alex did not seek titles. He continued training humans, teaching observation, strategy, and patience. Alien officers came to learn from him. Humans had become predators, not through size or weapons, but through will and cunning. The Zerg were defeated, but the galaxy had learned a lasting truth. Never underestimate a human. They could survive the impossible, outthink any enemy, and rise where others would fall. Alex looked at the stars. The battles were over, but the war of survival had just begun. Humans were awake now. The hunters had risen. And Alex Carter, the human once ridiculed, stood at the forefront, ready for anything the galaxy could throw at them. Humans had proven themselves supreme, not through brute force, but through the power of the mind, the heart, and the refusal to ever give up. The galaxy would never look at them the same way again, and Alex smiled quietly. Humanity had finally shown its teeth. Alex Carter stood on the observation deck of Earth's orbital command station, staring at the galaxy beyond. The Zerg Empire was in retreat, its fleet scattered, its plans shattered. Humans had survived what everyone thought impossible, and they had done it not with brute strength, but with intelligence, patience, and relentless will. Reports flooded in from the colonies. Humans had not only defended themselves, they had struck deep into enemy territory. Planets that were thought lost were reclaimed, supply lines destroyed, enemy morale shattered. Alien observers watched, noting every move. Humans were no longer weak, no longer prey, they were predators. On the ground, Earth was rebuilding. Cities repaired, fleets upgraded, colonies strengthened. Humans celebrated quietly. There was pride, but not arrogance. They had survived, but Alex knew the galaxy would not forget this lesson. Every species that had mocked humanity before was now watching, calculating, wary. Alex met with Commander Lisa Brown to plan the next stage. The Zerg Emperor might retreat, but he would return if humanity relaxed. "We cannot wait for them to strike again," Alex said. "We need to show the galaxy humans are not prey." Lisa nodded. "And the Council?" she asked. "They are learning," Alex said, slowly. The Council sees what we have done, but some still doubt. We need to make it impossible to ignore. Alex proposed a bold plan. Small, precise strike teams would visit key Zern systems, disabling weapon stations, capturing resources, and leaving evidence of human strength. The goal was not destruction for its own sake. It was to establish a presence, to show that humanity could reach anywhere, survive anything, and defeat anyone who challenged them. Training intensified. Alex personally led human teams, teaching tactics learned from frontier predators, space battles, and Zern strategies. Humans learned to move like hunters, striking quickly, vanishing, and using patience to their advantage. Alien allies came to watch and learn, studying humans carefully. Dorn, the alien soldier who had once mocked Alex, now followed his strategies without hesitation. He watched humans in awe, seeing how a small, underestimated species could control outcomes far beyond their apparent power. Humans were no longer weak. They were the apex predators of strategy and adaptation. One mission took Alex and his team to a Zern supply station on the outskirts of their empire. The station was heavily guarded, but Alex had studied every pattern. Humans infiltrated silently, bypassing sensors and traps. They disabled engines and communication hubs, leaving the station crippled. When the Zern discovered the damage, panic spread. They realized humans were not only defending, they were striking anywhere, anytime. Back on Earth, alien ambassadors met with humans to discuss the outcome. Some offered tentative alliances, impressed by humanity's adaptability and courage. Others watched silently, unsure how to respond. Humans had changed their reputation across the galaxy in a matter of cycles. Alex addressed a gathering of human leaders quietly. "You do not need to be the strongest," he said. "Survival is not about size or armor. It is about observation, patience, and the will to keep going when others would give up. Humans have proven that. We have survived. We have adapted. And we have learned that persistence is stronger than force." As months passed, the Zern retreat became permanent. Colonies stabilized. Humans established secure supply routes, trade agreements, and alliances. The galaxy had learned a lesson that could not be erased. Underestimate humanity, and you will fail. Alex continued to train new generations. He worked with young soldiers, teaching them the lessons of strategy, patience, and adaptability. Each recruit learned that survival was not about fear, but understanding. They studied enemies, learned patterns, and prepared for every possibility. The humans had become a model for other species, not through dominance but through intelligence. They showed that a smaller, seemingly weaker species could overcome enormous threats. The galaxy watched, some with admiration, some with caution. Humans had earned respect not by conquest, but by proving they could survive anything. In quiet moments, Alex reflected on the journey. He remembered being mocked, laughed at, and called fragile. He remembered the predators on the frontier world, the Zern fleets, and the endless battles. Each test had taught humans something new, made them stronger, smarter, more patient. Now humans were no longer prey. They were hunters in every sense. They could strike anywhere, survive anything, and outthink any enemy. Alien species who had once scorned them now consulted with them, learned from them, and planned cautiously around them. Alex knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and dangers remained. But humans were ready. They had learned to endure, to adapt, and to rise above every challenge. The lone human who had once been ridiculed had shown the way. The Zern Emperor might plan revenge. Other predators might test humans, but they would all learn the same lesson. Humans never gave up. Humans learned fast. Humans survived. Alex watched the stars. He smiled quietly. Humanity had risen not by weapons alone, not by brute force, but by intelligence, will, and persistence. The galaxy had changed. Humans had changed it. And everywhere that humans went, the lesson followed. Never underestimate a human. They could survive the impossible, and in doing so, they became the supreme predators of the galaxy. The future stretched ahead, bright and uncertain, but humanity was ready. Alex Carter, the human once mocked, once considered fragile, stood at the forefront of a new era. The hunters had risen, and the galaxy would never forget it.